So, picture a volcano. You're probably thinking, massive mountain, rivers of lava, entire towns evacuated for miles around, right? The kind of thing that shows up in disaster movies and makes scientists nervous. Well, what if I told you there's a volcano on this planet that you could literally walk around in less than a minute? And I'm not talking about walking around the base of some giant crater or circling a vent in the ground. I mean the entire volcano, the whole thing, base to summit. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? There's a volcano in Mexico that's shorter than a 4-story building. You could fit the entire thing, and I mean the entire thing, inside a Walmart parking lot. It's got everything a volcano's supposed to have. A cone, a crater, volcanic rock. The whole setup is just tiny. Ridiculously tiny. So how does something like this even exist? Why did it stop? What's it doing in the middle of a neighborhood? Stick around, because the story behind the world's smallest volcano is way stranger than you'd think. Alright, let me give you the basics. This little guy is called Cuexcomate, and it sits in the city of Puebla, Mexico, about 80 miles southeast of Mexico City. When I say it's small, I need you to really understand what that means. We're talking 43 feet tall. That's roughly the height of a standard 4-story apartment building. The base diameter is around 75 feet across. You could fit this entire volcano inside half an Olympic swimming pool. The crater at the top? About 20 feet in diameter. You could literally toss a basketball across it without much effort. The name Cuexcomate comes from Nahuatl, the language of the Aztecs, and means clay pot or place where bowls are kept, which makes perfect sense when you see that bowl-shaped crater. So, how does a volcano end up this size? Well, to understand Cuexcomate, you need to know about its much bigger, much angrier neighbor, Popocatépetl. Popocatépetl is one of Mexico's most active and dangerous volcanoes, towering at around 17,800 feet, about 40 miles northwest of Puebla. The year is 1064, almost 1,000 years ago. Popocatépetl is in the middle of a significant eruption. Underground, pressure is building as magma pushes through the Earth's crust. But volcanic systems are like complex plumbing networks, with pipes, chambers, and weak points scattered throughout. As the pressure builds, it starts traveling through these underground channels and finds a weak spot near what's now Puebla. Think of it like a garden hose with a tiny hole. The water finds the path of least resistance and shoots out. That's what happened here. The pressure found this weak point and suddenly, boom! Steam, volcanic gases, ash, and debris come shooting out of the ground. But here's the key. This eruption was incredibly brief. It was essentially a single eruptive event that lasted maybe hours or days, not years or decades. Most volcanoes grow over thousands or even millions of years through repeated eruptions. Each eruption adds a new layer. Mount St. Helens, Mount Fuji, Mount Vesuvius, these all grew through countless eruptions. Cuexcomate got one shot, and that was it. Now, here's where geologists start arguing. Some will tell you, that's not technically a volcano, it's a volcanic feature. And they've got a point. In strict geological terms, a true volcano usually involves a sustained magma chamber, multiple eruptions, and an active eruptive cycle. Cuexcomate doesn't have any of that. It's classified as a geyser cone, or hornito, a small volcanic landform created by a brief eruptive event. But it has all the structural components of a volcano: a cone shape made of volcanic material, a crater at the top, and it was formed by volcanic processes. Mexican geological surveys and most scientists are comfortable calling it a volcano, specifically the world's smallest volcano. So whether you call it a volcano or a volcanic feature depends on how strict you want to be with definitions. Let's put the size into perspective. Mount St. Helens is around 8,363 feet tall. That's about 194 times taller than Cuexcomate. Mount Vesuvius is 4,203 feet, nearly 100 times taller. Even small volcanoes like Paracutin in Mexico, which grew to 1,391 feet in just 9 years, are over 30 times taller. Here's a fun fact. The crater is actually deeper than the volcano is tall. And back in the day, locals used to climb down into it on ropes. Terrible idea. For centuries, Cuexcomate wasn't just a geological curiosity. It was a source of mystery and folklore. Locals believed the crater was bottomless, a gateway to the underworld. There were stories that you could hear strange sounds coming from deep inside, probably just wind and echoes, but to people without science to explain it, these sounds seemed supernatural. One legend claimed that Cuexcomate was connected by underground tunnels to Popocatépetl, and when the big volcano erupted, Cuexcomate would too. Interestingly, the underground connection part is somewhat true. They're part of the same volcanic system, but the idea of it reactivating is essentially impossible. Today, it's a small public park maintained by the local government. You can visit for less than $1. There's a spiral staircase built around the outside so you can climb to the rim. Takes maybe 30 seconds. Once you're at the top, you can walk around and peer down into the crater. The whole visit takes about 20 minutes. And here's the surreal part. You're standing on top of a volcano, looking into a volcanic crater, and just beyond the fence, there are houses, cars, people going about their daily lives. So here's what I want you to take away. The world is full of weird, unusual, fascinating things hiding in plain sight. Cuexcomate is just one example. Next time you're traveling, keep your eyes open for the strange stuff, the anomalies, the things that don't quite fit, because those are the things that make the world fascinating. And if you ever find yourself in Puebla, take 20 minutes and visit Cuexcomate. Stand at the top of the world's smallest volcano and think about the fact that you're standing on a moment of geological history frozen in rock and ash. That's pretty cool. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos about unusual places and the fascinating corners of our planet. Have you visited Cuexcomate? Or is there another strange feature I should cover next? I'll see you in the next one.